Yes, welcome to today's weekly analysis. So, continuing from our previous weekly analysis and how we've been doing it, focusing on the DXY because it's the most determinant factor for the rest of the dollar pairs. So, a weak DXY will signify a weak dollar, and then a strong DXY will signify a strong dollar. So it is very important that if you look at DXY, you would have a perfect understanding of the direction of the dollar. So again, looking at the DXY from the monthly time frame, let's just do a quick breakdown of the pair. So if you look at the monthly chart, the overall monthly chart right now, it looks bullish. This is it. We are trading around, yet looks bullish, but it's important to understand the whole price, how it has been moving from where it has been. So if you look at these moves, so we have, all you have to do is mark your highs and your lows to identify those key levels. So when we start from here, this is our low, and then we come up here, this is our high. So these are the obvious highs and lows that appear on the bigger time frame. But then there are certain there are lows and highs on the bigger picture. So if you come here, you just mark your high. This is your high. And then also, this is another high that we have. So once you do that, you realize you've actually analyzed the whole pair, because each time the market takes away a previous high, comes back to that high becomes a support area, or it becomes a resistance area, depending on the direction of the market. So this is a very simple concept. And then again, look at that. Let's look for more hidden highs and lows within this bigger picture. So another high, we have this previous high here, which we can also mark as our hidden structure. So from this, it becomes very, very simple for you to understand the next direction of the dollar index. But there is also another low here that could also act as a key level. So once you have this on the monthly chart and you have an understanding of what is happening here, you realize the market has also broken this high. There's a high here. So we just mark that high also. And seeing how this monthly candle closed very bullish, and now we are just on the 7 days or the first week of the new month, and then we have a serious pullback. So now we are seeing whether there will be a break of this low, and then market headed down all the way to this previous high, which will then become our support area. Or we have the market push up to here before it can come back. That's what we shall get to understand. But for us to understand this, we shall have to come to a lower time frame, in that a weekly. So on the weekly, this is what we have. We still have these highs, which are playing very well, which will act as our support area. So in other words, we want to understand what the DXY is going to be doing around this level. So will these levels be broken? Or we're going to have, if they are broken, then we know the DXY is going to trade to the downside. We shall be looking for some selling opportunities if these levels are broken. But if these levels still hold price, then we know the dollar strength is still going to continue. And therefore, this could act as our support area. So as we talk now, these are the possible scenarios we have on the dollar index based on the weekly high. So either a break of this to the downside or up. But it is important to look at a further smaller time frame. So if you look at this smaller time frame, which will be the daily in this case, you also mark your highs and your lows. So if we mark this high, you realize this is the scenario in which this is what the market has actually done. So if this level is able to hold price without breaking, then that means we can look for some buying opportunities here by the fact that this area is going to hold price, and then we also take profits possibly around here. So this is the area in which DXY is actually stuck on the lower time frame. So we are going to be trading around that area. So when you come to the 4-hourly chart, you will understand now what we are saying. So you have this area in which price has failed to break. So this is our resistance area. And then this is our support area. So this is all we have on the DXY. So price is trading between this support and this resistance. So whatever happens here, a break of this, then maybe a retest, and then the price continues to the downside. So it is important to look at another dollar pair so that we can just have a perfect understanding of where the dollar is going to go. So in this case, we can just go to gold. So how is gold doing? The bigger picture. It's important to understand it on the bigger picture so that we can also, knowing that the DXY on the bigger picture is looking strong, so we can also try to analyze. This is silver. Sorry, let's look at gold. USD. So gold. Okay, so we can look at your forex.com gold chart. So again, using the same principle, you want to be able to mark your highs and your lows. It's just as simple as that. Whatever low you see, you mark it, and whatever high you see, that becomes your key level. So that is that. And then we had these highs, and then we also had these highs, and we have these lows. Okay, those are the obvious low points, and we have these also highs. So once we have an understanding of that, then we can come to the hidden highs and the lows. So this is another low, and we have these areas. So those are our key levels on the monthly chart. Now we can go to the weekly chart. See, so we have this on the weekly basis. We have an area here where market is actually stuck. So the rest of the things is just going to be patient. So we have an area of support, and we also have an area of resistance. So honestly, I would want to trade when gold decides whether when it reaches around this area. That's when I will begin to look for some trading opportunities, and that is going to be based on the fact that if this support area is able to hold price, then I can take a buying opportunity to possibly push it all the way up to here. So these are the two areas in which I will be looking to trade from: this resistance area and then also this support area. But then whatever happens, if you have a break of this support, the downside, then we can see whether it can be retested before we can be able to scale down this support area. So that's my bias on gold. So still showing the strength of the dollar on the bigger picture. So all we have to do now is to be patient and wait for what will happen. So let me look at Bitcoin, because it's also dollar denominated, BTCUSD. And then we have a break. So let me use Binance. Again, we have to look at this on the monthly chart, bigger picture. The bigger picture is always very important. So as simple as that, you mark your lows, mark your obvious highs, mark your lows and your highs, stuff like that. And then you also mark your highs just to know where price had been. So now we know where we are trading from. We're trading around here, but it's also important to mark your high. So this is our high, the obvious ones. And then we come to that. So once we understand this, we know where we are trading from, and therefore we go to the weekly chart, and then we want to see what will happen. So you can see clearly on the weekly chart, this is an area of support, and price is just leaving the support area, and price is coming to this resistance area, the weekly chart. So that means I will be interested in trading this Bitcoin. Bitcoin is actually stronger than the dollar now, maybe up to this point of resistance. So whatever will happen here will determine whether I can be able to sell it, or if there's a break of this level, then we have this other resistance area where we shall be waiting for price. So remember, you need to understand, once you have your key levels, all you have to do is to be patient, and then you wait for the market to be able to reach to those key levels. You see, patience in trading is a product of knowledge. We had tweeted about this some time back, that you can't just be patient without knowing exactly what you want. So your patience in trading is a product of knowledge that is based on the recognition of patterns that occur repeatedly over time. So those patterns will occur repeatedly over time. So what patterns am I talking about? The market will continue to form lows. It will continue to form highs. So all you have to do is, after you've marked your highs and your lows, you just need to exercise patience and wait for price to reach to that high or that low that you've marked. And once price reaches there, you just need to wait for that strong bullish or bearish confirmation around your key levels. And that is that. And you'll be able to have some good trading opportunities. So that is that on the dollar index. We know where the DXY is headed on the bigger picture, and then also gold on the bigger picture, and then the Bitcoin. Maybe we can go to pound pairs and look at a few pound pairs. So let's look at GBP Swiss. So the Great British Pound and then the Swiss. So for this case, let me look at the one-day chart. Again, we go on the monthly picture so that we get to know the bigger picture. So again, like we said, you mark your lows and your highs. Okay, it's as simple as that. So if this is our low on the bigger picture, and we also have these highs, you just mark those lows and those highs. So we have another high here. Okay, so let me just mark this. So we have a low here, these obvious lows, and then we have another low here. And we have a high here. Okay, so once we have that, we also have another low here. You just mark your lows and your highs. So this low corresponds to that. So once you have done that on the bigger picture, you continue to do it until you cannot see any more lows and highs, then you can switch to lower time frame. Okay, so we have another low here, or what you would put it as another high here. So the moment you can't see more highs and more lows, that's when you can switch to lower time frames. So obviously these are our common lows, then our common highs. So once we cannot see further, we can now come to the weekly chart. And then on the weekly chart, now we know we are trading around here. Okay. And then we also have, now let's just operate with this low. So we have these lows and then these highs. So this is the area of resistance whereby we want to wait for price to be able to come there. And then also this is the area of support. And we want to wait for price to be able to come to this area. So this pair is looking very, very choppy right now. And as it looks choppy, you don't want to get stuck in the middle of here. You want to really wait for price to move, majestically come to your key level. It will be your resistance area or your support area, and then you can begin to trade. It's as simple as that. So it's a ranging market. You need to exercise a lot more patience. So let's go to another pound pair so we can wrap the pound business. So GBPNZD. Okay. Yeah. So again, we will have to, let me just look for another pound pair. So let's go to the monthly chart to be able to understand the bigger picture. So like we had said, you just need to mark your highs and your lows. It's as simple as that. So this is our obvious high up here. And then this is also another high up here. We look for lows. This is a low. Okay, obvious lows down here. And then we now focus here. We look for more lows and more highs around here. So if you look at this, this is a high. You look at this, this is a low. And then now there's this area of break the previous low here. And then there was also another low, but the market has passed through it. So Once we cannot see more lows and highs, we can now switch to a lower time frame, and we still search for the same thing. We mark our high. So this is a high. We mark it there. This is also another high. And do we have anything else to see? This is also another high. So once you have that, you know where you are trading from. We are trading around here. So we can now go to maybe the daily chart and know where we are right now. So if you look at the daily chart, this is our resistance area. And then this is also our support area. And all we have to do now is wait for price to either come to this level and then fail to break this, so that it bounces up, or comes here and then fails to break it or break it. So it's as simple as that. Okay. And then finally, let's look at some Swiss pairs. Let me just go to CADCHF. So it's also important to have a perfect understanding of Swiss pairs, one of the most interesting pairs to trade. So let's go again to the bigger picture. Just doing the most basic things. So you mark your lows and your highs. This is our low. This is our high. So there's no need to actually mark too much. We've already defined where we want to trade from. So we can go to the weekly and then try to see. So if you realize the highs and the lows, that's where we had our resistance and support areas. So we have our support, our resistance area, which was here, and now we have our support, which is here. So, and then you continue to mark again further highs and lows. So we have a high here. Okay, and then we have another low here. Okay, we have this low. So this low. Now all of a sudden you have your key levels which will act as your support and resistance areas. So all you have to do now is wait for price to be able to reach to one of your areas of interest, and then you can be able to trade. It's as simple as that. So we have this area, which is our support area. So depending on how the market reaches here and then breaks or continues up, that is how it is going to be. So it's also important to look at some fundamentals that are coming up this week, so that we can be able to better position ourselves, and then also understand where volatility is going to be headed. In what direction is volatility going to be headed? Okay, so 9th of October on Monday, we don't have a lot of major impact news. So going on to Tuesday, we also don't have much on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, that's when we have the US CPI, the core CPI. So we know exactly the direction of the index, the dollar index on the bigger picture. Wednesday, we have some serious impact news. And then on Thursday, we have pound GDP. So, and then we also have CPI again on Thursday for the dollar. And Friday, we round it off with the pound. The governor going to be giving his speech. So that's what we have for the week. I hope you have a good week, and then you trade carefully. Remember, if you can position your size well, you can be able to defend your account and not lose it or blow it easily. So trade cautiously, trade well, and have a good day.